the shit out of me. You just fucked the shit out of me. You fucked me and turned me. You fucked the me out of me, nigga. You fucked my life out. I didn't get no phone call. What I said? What you mean? What I mean? What I didn't say anything in German. I said everything in plain English. You don't be on shit. I don't even know why we still friends on Facebook. You don't fuck with me. The fuck.
On the night of September 12, 2019, a young mother of 4 walked back into a home she once shared with the man she loved. Her name was Sharon Miller. Just 31 years old, she was trying to move forward after a complicated relationship. Hours earlier, she had gone live on Facebook, speaking her truth and hinting at secrets she planned to expose. But what she didn't realize was that the very man she once trusted was about to silence her forever. Moments after she entered that Milwaukee apartment, neighbors heard a single gunshot. Sharon was rushed to the hospital with a wound to her abdomen, but it was too late. The woman who only wanted to retrieve her belongings never made it home to her children again. What followed wasn't just a tragic love story turned fatal, it was a disturbing glimpse into how domestic violence can hide in plain sight, and how justice can sometimes slip through the cracks. Before we uncover the events that led to this tragedy, let's take a moment to remember Sharon, a devoted mother, a sister, a daughter, and a woman whose story deserves to be told. Sharon Miller was born on July 3, 1998, in Chicago, to her mother, Jacqueline Brinson. Not much is known about her father or the details of her early upbringing. Most of her family's private life has remained out of the public eye. But what those close to her will never forget is the warmth and fire that defined who she was. Sharon grew up surrounded by a small but deeply connected circle of loved ones who often described her as outspoken, brutally honest, and unapologetically herself. She had a fiery personality, the kind that lit up any room and made people pay attention. She spoke her mind, stood her ground, and loved with intensity. That boldness was easy to see on her Facebook page, where she often shared her thoughts and feelings without holding back.
Adding my motherfucking inbox, adding me to their fucking page just to get in my inbox and holler at me, nigga. If you send me a friend, you need to be booking me. What you talking about?
Nah, I want that.
Book me. Same bitch.
Some admired her transparency, while others criticized her for being too real. But Sharon didn't care. She was never the type to conform or quiet her voice just to make others comfortable. Ironically, that same fierce character, the one that made her so admired, would one day lead her down a dangerous path. Before her life took a tragic turn, Sharon's determination was her greatest strength. She wanted more than just to survive. She wanted to build a better future for herself and her family. That drive led her to enroll at ITT Technical Institute, where she studied network and systems administration. Her choice wasn't just about earning a degree, it was about creating stability, independence, and a future she could be proud of. Sharon was also incredibly talented. She had a natural gift for tattoo artistry. Her creativity and sharp precision quickly earned her a reputation at Nocturnal Ink and Body Canvas Incorporated, where she worked as a tattoo artist. She poured her energy into her craft, creating art that reflected both her skill and her spirit. Alongside her artistic work, she also held a job at Go Rightway Transportation Group, balancing multiple roles to support her family. Despite the long hours and challenges, Sharon remained resilient, always pushing forward, always finding a way. Yet behind her strength and success was one part of her life that never seemed to go right: love. For reasons even she might not have fully understood, Sharon often found herself drawn to men with troubled pasts, men whose charm masked instability and danger. Those relationships brought heartbreak, betrayal, and painful lessons. And sadly, that pattern would soon pull her into a relationship that would change everything. From those painful chapters, however, came her greatest blessings: her 4 beautiful children. They were her world, her purpose, and her source of strength. While the identities of their fathers were not publicly known, one thing was clear: Sharon gave everything she had to give her kids the best life possible. Her life wasn't perfect, but it was filled with love and determination. She was building something meaningful, piece by piece. But everything began to unravel the moment she met 29-year-old Darnell Kimball. She fell deeply for him. To outsiders, Darnell already seemed like trouble, and beneath the surface, he carried a past that should have been impossible to ignore. His criminal record stretched back to 2009, beginning with a conviction for armed robbery. Over the years, he faced a series of charges: battery, disorderly conduct, drug possession, and in 2018 he was even linked to a case involving strangulation and suffocation, a violent offense that revealed just how dangerous he could be. Still, Sharon stayed. What made things even more devastating was what she didn't know. Darnell was already married to another woman. Without realizing it, Sharon had stepped into a relationship built entirely on lies. She had unknowingly become the other woman, trapped in a web of deceit. If you're finding these stories meaningful or informative, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us keep bringing you more content like this. Despite the red flags and her instincts urging her to leave, she stayed, maybe out of love, maybe out of hope that he'd change. But the relationship soon spiraled into something dark and volatile. What began as small arguments turned into explosive fights. Sharon and Darnell both had strong, stubborn personalities, and together they created a storm. The passion that once drew them together quickly turned toxic, leaving Sharon caught in a painful cycle of control, chaos, and heartbreak. Through all of it, Sharon had no idea she was caught in the grip of someone dangerous, someone capable of both manipulation and violence. But things were only going to get worse. The moment she uncovered one devastating truth, everything began to unravel. It didn't take long for her to discover that Darnell, the man she loved, was married to another woman. And when she found out, the betrayal hit her like a punch to the chest. For Sharon, this was the final straw. She wasn't the type to stay silent or let anyone humiliate her in secret. Furious and heartbroken, she confronted him, refusing to hold back her rage. Around this time, Sharon began taking her anger public. On social media, she started venting, posting emotional rants and raw, unfiltered statements about Darnell's lies and deceit.
In my ass. Why? Why? And then I'm built and shaped up like a nigga. Why do you want to fuck my ass? You should want to want as much as you can get. That's some gay ass shit. But next time a nigga that's me, I'm my mama. Next time I'm sucking nigga dick and he hit the inch in his ass up, I'm putting my finger in his ass, bro, all my life. I'm sticking my finger clean up your ass. And then I'm going to expose your bitch ass because that shit is not right, bro. Motherfucker, they finna have some normal stuff and here come with you with this unorthodox ass shit. That shit not cool, folks. That shit not cool. Bro, you just fucked the shit out of me. You just fucked the shit out of me. You fucked it turned me. You fucked the me out of me, nigga. You fucked my life out. I didn't get no phone call. What I said? What you mean? What I mean? What I didn't say anything in German. I said everything in plain English. You don't be on shit. I don't even know why we still friends on Facebook. You don't fuck with me. So anyway, motherfuckers do all that shit. And y'all then like this generation of niggas okay with eating pussy. Like y'all will eat a bitch pussy before y'all even. Like what? And then like when a motherfucker getting a little possessive, y'all be like, well, why? See, I'm aware of what I do. Like if I fuck on a nigga, I fuck shit over, I know shit finna change. I know shit finna get real. I know the real color is finna come out. That's why either I keep it real basic, or I be aware that once I take it there with this nigga, it's finna go there. You know, it be made up in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Or I just like, well, we gonna fuck, we gonna duck, and woo woo woo. That's it. But
her Facebook page became a space where she expressed the pain, frustration, and betrayal she was living through. Her words were sharp, emotional, and deeply personal. And while some people urged her to stay quiet, Sharon didn't care. She was tired of pretending everything was fine. But in one of those moments of heartbreak and anger, she made a decision that would ultimately cost her life. During a Facebook Live session, Sharon called Darnell out directly, naming him, confronting his manipulation, and vowing to expose their affair. It was a bold move, one filled with anger, heartbreak, and defiance. She accused him of lies, of leading a double life, and of ruining her peace.
Can't be in a relationship when I'm broke. If that nigga doing good and got money and help me every now and then, you know, that's fine and all that, but I'm still broke. I can't do that shit. And look at it like this. If you have a broke ass lamp, you can buy different light bulbs for that motherfucker, different watts, high efficiency, energy saver. You can get new light bulbs every month, every week, but every time you screw it into that broke ass lamp, that motherfucker still ain't gonna work. Because the lamp is broke, my nigga. You have to find the time to rewire the lamp in order to make the light illuminate. And with that shit, sometimes you screw a motherfucking light bulb in the broke ass lamp and blow the fucking light bulb. So just get your shit together before you trying to entertain a relationship is the whole point of the conversation. I can't fuck with you if I'm broke, nigga. I don't even got love for myself when I'm broke. I'ma love you. Emotional ass nigga, fuck.
What she didn't realize, though, was that Darnell was watching the live the entire time. Every insult, every accusation, every threat to expose him, he heard it all. And while Sharon's words came from pain, what they awakened inside Darnell was something darker, something sinister. When she noticed he was watching, she didn't back down. She pressed harder, letting her anger spill out in real time. But what she couldn't see was the storm brewing on the other side of that screen. She had no idea her words were pushing him toward the edge of something irreversible. Hours later, on the night of September 12, 2019, that nightmare became real. Sharon went to Darnell's house near 52nd and Locust in Milwaukee to collect her belongings, ready to leave him and close that chapter of her life for good. She had made her decision clear. She was done. But Darnell wasn't ready to let her go. Still fuming over the Facebook Live and the public humiliation, his anger boiled over. The moment Sharon stepped inside, an argument broke out. Neighbors would later recall hearing loud shouting, voices raised in fury. Exactly what was said between them remains unknown, but what happened next was chilling. In the heat of the argument, Sharon swung her arm toward Darnell, maybe out of frustration, maybe in defense. But before she could even land a hit, Darnell grabbed a gun, pointed it at her, and fired. The bullet struck her arm and abdomen, a wound that would prove fatal. She collapsed on the floor, bleeding out, while Darnell ran from the scene, leaving her to die inside his home. Darnell's mother had witnessed everything. For a few moments, she stood frozen in horror at what had just unfolded before her eyes. Her son had just shot the woman he claimed to love. As soon as she regained her composure, she called 911 and rushed Sharon to the hospital. But the damage was already done. Despite every effort from the doctors, Sharon's injuries were too severe. Just after 1 a.m. on September 13, 2019, she was pronounced dead. The news spread quickly, sending shockwaves through the Milwaukee community and leaving her loved ones shattered. As grief settled in, questions demanded answers. Police launched an immediate investigation, and with Darnell's mother's eyewitness account, it didn't take long to identify the shooter. On September 18, 2019, Darnell Kimball was formally charged with first-degree reckless homicide and possession of a firearm by a felon. Given his long criminal record, the stakes were high. It seemed like justice was within reach, but the road ahead would prove far more difficult than anyone expected. What should have been a clear-cut case soon became tangled in complications. The prosecution's key witness was Darnell's mother, the same woman who had watched the tragedy unfold. But like any mother, she faced an impossible choice: protect her son or tell the truth and ensure justice for Sharon and her 4 children, now left without their mother. The emotional toll was enormous. Torn between love and conscience, she wrestled with her decision. In 2020, she made her choice. When the trial date arrived, Darnell's mother failed to appear in court. The absence of her testimony, the only first-hand account of the shooting, changed everything. Without her, the case began to crumble. What had once seemed like a straightforward prosecution suddenly turned uncertain. The defense seized the opportunity, arguing there was no concrete evidence or witness to back up the charges. The courtroom, once filled with hope for justice, became a place of confusion and heartbreak. In November 2020, the unthinkable happened. The charges against Darnell Kimball were dismissed without prejudice, meaning the case could be reopened, but for now he walked free. The decision devastated Sharon's family. They had sat in that courtroom praying for closure, only to watch the man responsible for her death leave without facing consequences. The story quickly drew media attention, not only for its tragedy but for what it revealed about the fragile nature of justice, how one missing voice can silence an entire truth. Local media outlets soon picked up the story, shocked that something so heartbreaking could end with no answers, no accountability, and no justice. In the end, Darnell walked away a free man, while Sharon's family was left shattered, caught in the silence of a system that seemed to have forgotten them. The man responsible for her death was still out there, living his life, while her family was trapped in grief and unanswered questions. But while he may have escaped one charge, the law eventually found another way to catch up with him. Darnell didn't walk away completely untouched. He was found guilty of illegal firearm possession, given a stayed sentence, and placed on 2 years of probation. Yet, even with that conviction, justice still felt painfully out of reach. He had paid the price for one crime, but not the one that truly mattered. Not the one that took the life of a mother of 4. For years the case went nowhere. Darnell disappeared and could not be found. And although the authorities insisted that the investigation was ongoing, nothing really changed. It was as if Sharon's death was slowly being buried under time, forgotten by everyone except those who loved her. Her family's pain deepened with every passing year, as justice seemed to fade into the distance. Just when it seemed like the case had gone cold for good, a breakthrough finally came. On May 2, 2023, nearly 4 years after her death, Milwaukee prosecutors announced they were reopening the case. After years of grief, frustration, and unanswered questions, they filed new charges against Darnell Kimball: first-degree reckless homicide and felony possession. A warrant for his arrest was immediately issued, reigniting hope that justice might finally be served. The news spread quickly across local outlets. The man accused of killing a woman nearly 4 years ago is charged again, one report announced. Prosecutors didn't reveal what had changed this time, but the refiling of charges sent a clear message. They were ready to take the case to trial once more. For Sharon's mother, that announcement brought back both hope and heartbreak. "He literally murdered my daughter and he's walking free as me and you. And she's no longer with us," she said, her voice trembling. The reopening of the case tore open wounds that had never truly healed.
Of a manhunt underway tonight for a Milwaukee homicide suspect. He's accused of killing a mother of 4 following a domestic dispute that happened last week. Our Aaron Mabin spoke with the victim's mother tonight.
I don't even know how to begin. I never imagined losing my child, at such a young age. I could skate, but she could skate better than me. So I would be on the side of her to make it seem as if I was just as good as her. She had a great relationship with the doctor, came down and told us they did everything they could for her. I didn't know she was in a bad relationship like that. Wish she would have just left whatever that was at that house. She was just a beautiful person when you sum it all up.
When prosecutors reignited their pursuit in 2023, authorities still haven't been able to find him. Once again, Darnell disappeared, slipping through the cracks and leaving the Miller family trapped in a painful cycle of hope and heartbreak. Whether this new push came from fresh evidence, a re-emerging witness, or persistent pressure from the community, no one knows for sure. But what's certain is that the fight for justice for Sharon Miller is far from over. Today, Darnell Kimball remains at large. Police continue to search for him, urging anyone with information to come forward. And for Sharon's family, every day that passes without closure reopens the wound that time could never heal. They still live with the fear that history might repeat itself, that justice might once again slip away, leaving them with nothing but questions and a mother's memory that refuses to fade. Polly Cobbs, a longtime friend of Miller's, recalled that she was such an outgoing and vibrant person, the kind of woman who could make anyone laugh. "It's hard to believe she's gone. I'm really going to miss her. And my heart breaks for her children. They're beautiful kids and they're really going to miss their mom. She was their whole world." Sharon's story still hangs painfully in the balance. Her killer remains unpunished. Her children continue to grow up without their mother. And her family is left grappling with a loss that words can't fully describe. The pain echoes through every part of their lives, a constant reminder of the justice that has yet to come. Sharon was laid to rest in Milwaukee, surrounded by loved ones who struggled to make sense of the tragedy. To help cover funeral costs, her family started a GoFundMe, where the community rallied in support, raising nearly $2,500. That small act of generosity offered more than financial help. It reminded them that they weren't alone, that people still cared. Her story is a sobering reminder of how easily lives are destroyed when dangerous people are allowed to manipulate, deceive, and walk away without consequence. This wasn't just a failure of the legal system. It was a failure of accountability, of courage, of truth. Sharon's name may not make national headlines, but her story deserves to be told, because she was more than a case number. She was a mother, a daughter, a friend, and a fighter who tried to stand up for herself, even when it cost her everything. If you or anyone you know has information about the whereabouts of Darnell Kimball, please contact the Milwaukee Police Department or submit an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers. Someone out there knows something. And silence only protects the guilty. Let us know what you think about this case in the comments, because justice delayed doesn't have to mean justice denied.